Hello, this is Nathan, better known as CrazyhermitDM, and this is my podcast, The Hermit Homebrew. Joining me today is Brent from Lang Mini Studios, and Chase, better known as Kilk, as we talk about Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop gaming. Level, what is it? 1 toy bar to level 20. Favorite toy bar moment of the entire campaign?
Of the campaign, probably bringing Surtur out. Because that was not planned.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was something that I had joked about, but it was something as a player I didn't want to do. Because I felt like that was a big part of your character, was you have the shield now, you know, it has this being in it, and I'm like, okay, this is a major part of his character. I'm actually not going to mess with it. But then you died.
Yeah. In a time of desperation.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I would, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I knew that there was some powerful, cool thing in this thing, and at that point you had told us that, like, there's being in there, I've been talking to it, like, that's why it eats fire spiders,
yeah,
and
exactly.
shoots fireballs, and all kinds of weirdness. And we're like, oh, okay, so that's Surtur, that's crazy. Keep him in there, for sure. But then you died. Right on the first 5 feet of the dungeon, we walk in, and you died and went down, and I'm like,
Well...
we still have a boss and every other room to go. And we don't have a tank.
And it was a 5-room dungeon with 3 of the rooms with something in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we
Oh, yeah.
it was just the forge, right? So it was like the first room, then the main thing, and then behind where
It was, yeah.
Gilvickle died from.
And
I thought that was
and Marik
cool.
again.
I thought it, yeah.
And Marik again. Yeah.
I thought it was really cool, mainly for the fact that it interacted with your character stuff in a way that your character would have been opposed to if they were alive.
Alive, yeah.
But in a way that allowed your character to be saved. And
But as a player at that...
But as a player, I thought a lot of American toy bars, especially American toy bars interactions, were very organic. And they were very, like, you know, they didn't seem like they were, like, forced or you know, they weren't, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is.
It's not that type of movie where it's this
Just natural.
group of superheroes that get together and at the end of the movie, after one movie, we're family.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very, at the very end, you know, going through the whole thing, like, American Toy Bar, it had a really, like, awesome, like, dynamic.
yeah.
Absolutely. So anything that Toy Bar did that, like, bounced off of Marik, or that Marik, like, some of my favorite moments were the ones where Marik just goes, "Damn it, Toy Bar," you know.
What was
My second favorite would be at the Mages College.
That was that whole like arc was just hilarious.
It was very fun. It was the spot where they were trying to kick me out, and I was running, and then I ran into Rama, and like, she grabbed me.
Yep.
And she was like, "Hey, after I'd been hit with the thing that stopped me from casting spells, like then he stopped it because she had me." And then I was like, "Let me go. I won't do anything crazy." And she's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah." Well, she didn't ask Nathan because she doesn't know at that point as a player. She didn't know to ask, "Can I roll to see if he's lying?"
Yeah, didn't know. Yeah, roll.
I was totally lying.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right? And even she was like, "Are you lying to me?" And I'm like, "No."
No.
And then the moment she let me go, I was like, "Misty step, I'm out, I'm running back in." Like,
it's a total roleplay moment. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like, damn it, again, damn it, Toy Bar.
And I played on her trustingness of me, you know, as her husband, a little bit in there, because, you know, I don't think that she probably took it as, "Oh, okay, yeah, he told me he's not gonna do this," and then Toy Bar runs back in.
And then Toy Bar does it.
TPs, starts running. Like, the whole thing was fun. That was definitely a fun spot in the story.
What was your favorite Tove moment of the entire campaign?
Tove? For me, it wasn't a story moment. It was a combat moment. And it was the combat moment in the Forge. When she cast the thorns on the ground. That just popped all minions. Like, minions were showing up and they were just popping.
Yep.
Bloop, 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 bloop. And it was an unintended thing that I think that she did. I think she was just trying to make it so that they
couldn't charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's rough terrain, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
so they were slowed. And we didn't know they were minions at the time. We just thought they were
like dudes. Yeah, we were fully expecting to fight these guys in a second when they got to us. Yeah.
Yeah, so that probably would have been my main one for her. I thought that was, from a combat standpoint, that was kind of like her shining moment. I was like, oh, wow, that was crazy good. Mm-hmm. And I even brought it up to her when we were fighting the Overseer. I was like, you could probably just cast your thorns through this whole area. Mm-hmm. And anytime these things walked out, they would just pop. I just don't think that she got another turn or something else happened. She had to pick somebody else.
Something else happened to where...
Something always happens in combat.
Who did she sacrifice herself, or with her power, because it allowed her to sacrifice herself for Krimgash?
Krimgash.
It was Krimgash, yeah.
Which is a very, that's the purpose of the power, but it was a very anti-her power.
I think that was her as a player kind of going, oh god, Krimgash is down too. I take his.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I'm out for a round, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, she played that last one very well. But for me, that was probably the top one. That or the Blue Mage.
Oh, the Blue Mage.
The sex
what about Marik from level 2 to 20? Best favorite Marik moment?
There's a whole lot of just little interactions, but the one that's popping out to me is bringing back the Volipska son and interacting with the clerics and having Flint there, and even just being the straight man to
the
Flint's comedic side,
the buddy cop.
And
that was a good
just that interaction.
Robbing,
yeah,
that was so fun.
Yeah, and then just talk. That's Marik at that point. I was like, I don't give a shit anymore.
I wonder if there's a point in character, if it was a TV show or an actual full novel, where they would have wrote in. It's and that's when Marik was sitting there in the crypt. He's like, just a month or two ago. I was the captain. I would be arresting myself.
I'd be arresting myself, and here
and
I
now
am.
I'm grave robbing.
And now I'm grave robbing. Yeah. And so then going back to the clerics and having with Flint opening the hole and pulling the jars of money out, and it's are we there yet? And oh no, you see him give me another one. I don't think this is your part of the treasure. I don't care. Give me another one. I'll pay him back.
Rama wasn't there to counter it, so
Rama wasn't there to shut me down, so he's like, okay. And
that was one of my favorite Flint moments in the last couple of sessions, where you kept trying to push him, and then you finally no.
Yeah, every time I would tell Flint to do something, he would turn and look to Rama.
Yeah.
And Rama would be...
She made comments.
Sometimes
I feel like he just takes advantage of Flint all the time. I'm like, that's why Flint looks at you. You're his boss.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely I take advantage of Flint. That's what I was doing. And so he would look at Rama, and very rarely would she say, yeah, okay, go ahead and do it. And most times she was like, you don't got to do that.
Right.
And
I started picking up on that and be like, Flint, you don't have to do that.
And that's what I want. I wanted her to stand up and be like, no, he works for me. All right.
She would have never said that to you, but she would have just been like.
But I think in her own way she did, when she was like, Flint, you don't got to do that. Okay, cool.
It's those moments at work where you have a coworker bossing you around, and then you turn to your direct supervisor. Do I got to do that?
Yeah.
No.
Do I have to no? It's little moments like that of Marik acting in character as this hardcore paladin of conquest. You do what I'm telling you to do, and then having the other characters interact with that in a countermanding but still yet supportive and story driven moment, to where it's Flint, do this. Do I have to? No. Okay. And then just roll with it. Then okay, cool, let's figure something else out.
This episode's been brought to you by, in the age of sagas and songs, don't let your next TTRPG be left to the Norns alone. Let the fate of your character be carved in runes and cast in metal, liquid core, or prismatic glass. Let the players of your table wield dice worthy of Odin, Thor, Loki, and yes, Heimdall. Heimdall dice worthy of guarding the Bifrost with. Claim the glory of Valhalla with HeimdallDice.com. Heimdall Dice, the official Nordic dice of the Hermit's Homebrew podcast. Alright, tabletop gamers. Go dive into our favorite Goblin Run little workshop. The sparks have been flying, and these little maniacs at the Wicked Goblin crew have just relaunched their store. It's packed with killer merch and literally dozens of different designs on almost anything you'd need at your gaming night, from shirts to drinking glasses to dice trays and even totes to carry it all away at the end of the game night. And now they're rolling up to the table with us at the Hermit's Homebrew podcast. It's like your own personal goblin craftsman dressing up your game night. What's your favorite Rama moment?
I gotta say it's those flashes when she does really interesting things with the spells, because she doesn't know the tactical or the right way to use them.
Oh, and quotations, right?
Yeah, quotations right.
Or I guess the tradition
as intended.
The traditional way.
Yeah,
She doesn't have the guardrails.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't know what they are, so she's just
And
like,
so
what about
she
this?
reads the spell and goes, "Wait a minute, can I do this?" And then it legitimately, like, we've got
the demi
decades of experience, and just kind of, what? And then we actually have to stop and look and go through and go, "Oh my God, you can do that."
Yeah.
And because it happened with the demi-plane, and then it happened with another time. I forget what it was, but she said, "Hey, I have this spell. Can I do this with it?" And it's just,
probably.
yeah. She did it a couple of times to where she's like, she's at that point to where she's learning this the system, she's learning everything, and then she's applying it, and it's really cool to see that, that out of the box, or that other way of looking at it. It's like, oh yeah, that's amazing. You totally can do that.
I love the demi-plane moment, but as a dungeon master, it was actually probably her roughest session that I actually enjoyed the most. Was the session where she's obviously going through a lot in real life and stress, and then Allison was sick, so we were down to 3, and then she got analysis paralysis, and just like, I don't know why we're helping these people, what we're doing, who we're helping, or what's the right choice here. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
and we just, that in and out of character campfire side thing, because it was a traveling session anyways.
Yeah,
we went through the entire night of just, this is the rights and the wrongs, and they're all not even rights or wrongs. This is just the options.
And in retrospect, that kind of a session was a long time coming. We needed to sit down and go, here's what's going on. We were being so reactionary that we didn't know how to switch gears to be proactive.
I think that's a issue with the Descent to Avernus plotline.
I think I've heard you say that before.
Once you get into Avernus, it's just a giant sandbox. There's no real direction. It doesn't tell you where to go.
It's just
like,
do stuff.
And the idea is you just go pick a few places and you go to them, and that's how you.
And it leads down a story tree.
Yeah,
interesting.
There's different places you can go. You don't have to go to Bell's Forge. Like, you don't have to go to these other places. They're just there for you to kind of go to.
No, you guys could have went to that Tower of Portals behind Baba Yaga, or you could have went north to this random tower on the map, or straight to Xingxi.
Because there was there's a dragon skull in the map, and that was Xingxi's like main camp. Yeah.
So there's a lot of different places.
Interesting.
But it also makes, because if you don't talk to the right people in those areas, you just kind of feel lost.
And you guys, 70% of the time, I'd say we're talking to the right people, but not always asking
the right questions.
Yeah. So we didn't get all the information. Mine would just be Xingxi in the box and Xingxi out of the box.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorites, just because I have a connection with Xingxi.
Yeah.
Especially out of the box, because she had told me a while back that he's never coming out of the box.
She went back and forth on that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And me and her even talked like one-on-one. She's like, I don't know what the right choice. I'm like, there is no right choice.
And that's the problem, is that there is no right choice.
And that's the hard thing for her, right? Is she always wants to try to figure out what the correct choice is.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that is her personality. That is her, her political views of doing the right thing and caring about the everyman.
Sure.
And that's how she played Rama. I want to care about the everyman. I don't care about the tyrant or the god or this or that.
Right.
Or the big elder one that I care about humanity.
Yeah. Yeah. And she made, and I didn't know what choice she was going to make with Odin. I kind of did when you gave her that option. I kind of assumed she was going to choose
for the people.
The people. So those are probably my two favorite ones with her. You are right, though. I think she probably killed more people in our.
I know she did. I want to say she's killed more in this campaign than anyone else at the table. It always seemed like she was getting the final blow.
Final
She was
blows,
getting,
yeah.
she was doing the final stuff. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing in any way, shape, or form, because that's what I hate to take this from 4th edition, but she is either a DPS or what 4th edition called a striker. Mm-hmm. And these are the ones that are dealing the most damage. Like, as Marik, he was the tank. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had this vision in my head of being like a battlefield, like just lay waste to everything. No. But it turned into, no, that's not what he did.
If we're going by 4th edition rules, no, you were the defender/tank.
The defender/tank, yep.
Rama was the DPS or striker.
Yep.
And then Tove and I believe Toybar were probably the controllers or the battlefield.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Toybar didn't have that many attack spells. No.
Yeah.
Most of my spells were control spells.
And so, I don't begrudge that in any way, shape, or form, because that's generally what spellcasters do. Yeah. They lay down some big numbers, especially level 10 plus. So, it's awesome.
I was just casting Cast Bolt.
And then,
and still laying waste to stuff, yeah.
And then Flint and Gilvic were basically support.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they pulled a lot of the healing that we needed, a lot of the buffs. And the
yeah, because I didn't want her to feel like she had to be the I didn't want her to feel like she had to be the stereotypical girl of the group that had to be the clerk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Probably would have been easier for her.
Probably.
She just had to focus on, like, say, the defensive side of the combat versus, do I attack or do I cast spells on these people?
Keep these. Make sure you keep these buffs up. And
she can do that with Druid in the next campaign, because they can be healers.
This Druid's going to be a lot more complicated for her, and I don't think she understands that.
Yeah.
Especially with Circle of Spores, because she can be bringing stuff back to life.
Yeah.
And
she probably won't do that stuff with the bulls.
And then there's that spore aura that she can do.
Yeah, if anything comes within like 5-10 feet of you, you can just make it take damage if you want, things like that. So
I'll be interested how that translates into Tales of the Vine versus the different levels and all that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not too worried. I think we have enough experienced people at the table that we can make it work pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
I do have something to say. Nate, I want to thank you for putting all of the hard work in and herding the cats that we are and keeping your mind straight and sane just to put all this together for over 3 years or for 3 years.
Yeah, like it's a lot of work. Those of you who have never DM'd before don't understand the amount of work that it is. And I've only loosely did it, right? I just did it for the family for a few sessions.
It's a very underappreciated thing.
It's hours.
It's
hours of prep time for your people to only get through a quarter of what you prepped.
Yeah, or to completely circumvent it.
Yeah, or to not use it all. Like, we even kind of made the joke when we came back for that last fight with the Elder Brain. Because that was one whole session, just the Elder Brain fight.
Oh, yeah, just the Elder Brain.
We were like, what if we just walk through the doors?
Yeah,
like, Nate had all this stuff set up on the
what if we just
elaborate thing, and we're like, we're just gonna go through the doors, and he's like, oh well, hold on, let me go downstairs to get my stuff.
But then you made the idea, and I'm like, and I was saying the same thing. I was like, because we have like, here's the main boss door. We're sitting here at the boss door, but then there's this hallway.
You would have got to use the keys then to open the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
you
Chase,
severing the connection with the big brain is what let him know that you were close.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's definitely, he's going to feel that one. But Chase says, the gamer in me is not liking this hallway being left unexplored. Yeah. I'm like, I am right there with you. If video games have taught me anything, always check the hallways before you go through the boss door.
You never know what
you never know what's down there. And so we went down there, and just like with I love the Bethesda games like Fallout and stuff like that. So, okay, cool. This is the door to continue on the dungeon. I'm not going through that door yet. I still have a room upstairs of a lock that I didn't pick yet that I need to go up there.
If
I
you
need
don't
to
tell
figure
me
out
what's a time crunch. I'm searching everything.
Yeah. If there ain't people dying right now, guess what? You can wait.
I'm also, which is funny because I'm a big fan as a player of not finding everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel like I went through and found everything.
Which there's plenty of even story things that you guys like the tablet things that
that we never ran into. I'm the type of DM that likes the idea of if I have this bookshelf
and
you roll to search the bookshelf, there's a difference if you roll a 20 versus if you roll, say, a 15.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Like, there are an item that you will find every time. It might just be a little bit extra gold.
But it's something.
But there's a difference in that rolling that nat 20 versus...
And that's what that Mahadi one was. The way back when on the Wonder Emporium, when you guys went through that storeroom. It had a layer of...
Yeah, of things you find. Or even secrets, rooms that you just never ran into that had a cool item in there. Like, we left the Holy Avenger in...
Catherine's grave.
In Catherine's grave. She had a Holy Avenger in there.
We're not desecrating graves, man. Come on. I mean...
What D&D party are you with? I mean, you were desecrating graves?
Only one specific one, and it was to bring him back to life.
He met it a little there because it is his in-character kid.
Yeah.
It's just a D&D party would absolutely.
A Holy Avenger is sitting there unattended in a grave? Oh, that's gone. Yeah.
If we didn't know that character, and it was just random, no-name grave, and you're like, oh, it seems very important.
Yoink.
Like, you probably knew that this was some, great hero from the past, and, this is where she's been entombed. And you're like,
is that a Holy Avenger? Is that a Holy Avenger? Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, we're desecrating that grave. Like, normal D&D party would absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Roleplay
wouldn't even blink.
You did it in the first dungeon with all the cultists and the guards down there.
Those are cults. No one respects
cults.
No,
like the old captain or the old guard or whatever that you guys found, like the old, like...
Oh, yeah, it was the old.
Yeah, it was the old, you took the old symbols and stuff off of them.
Well, they weren't graves.
You took their old armor?
They weren't buried. They were just dead bodies in the freaking sewer.
Of like the French underground.
Yeah,
no, they do not compare the sewers to the catacombs.
That particular part was a catacomb, if I do remember.
Yeah. There was, that's why there was mummies and all kinds of stuff in there.
Stop trying to poke holes in my story.
No, but
situational grave robbing is okay.
But a normal D&D party would have taken that and run with it, right?
Oh, yeah. 9 look back.
So there was a few good spots in there. Minos was a fantastic character.
Minos was amazing.
And that was purely incidental.
Yeah. Which is what makes it really cool, right? Because Minos didn't have a lot of lines. It's not like he was around often. It was just like, hey, did you know Minos? And, fate dice every time.
Minos never would have existed if Tove wouldn't have wanted to get a massage at the Wild Ram.
Oh, he would have existed.
No, he was there. Because you guys broke in on the first thing.
Yeah. And Tove was there first, though.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been fleshed out as much, I think, if she hadn't taken an interest.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
He would have been a one-off and then gone.
And technically he was. We only really ran into Minos like twice. 2 or 3 times total.
Well, okay, well, how can someone be a one-off if Loki knows him? I mean, come on.
Well, in our campaign.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, our characters...
Yeah.
Physically, Minos was only in front of us a handful of times.
Maybe three out of the 69 sessions.
Yeah, it's not like Gilfickle who was there with us, or Flint who was hanging out with us for all these times, or any of that.
It's just the reputation preceded him.
Yeah, his reputation was fantastic. I was sad that Odin didn't know him, though.
I know, I was really kind of sad.
I really wanted Odin when he was rolling the dice to see if Odin knew him. I was like, dang.
Like, do you know Minos? Yeah, I know him.
It was a celebration moment. At the table.
Yeah.
When we were like, hey, do you know Minos? And he's rolling. And he's
like, hey, you know
Minos? We're like, yeah. Of course you do.
Of course you know Minos. Everyone knows Minos.
Yeah, no, but it was good. The whole campaign, honestly, was fantastic. I think it was as D&D players, kind of, as a DM for you, I think where you were when we started it up.
Yeah.
I think it helped, hopefully it helped you out as a person.
Yeah. I mean...
I know you were going through some rough stuff back then, and then just...
I was going through a divorce.
I was surprised I convinced Nick and Tawny to even start, to be honest with you. I knew Nick was always going to be down. Honestly, Nick is always down. It's just...
He has real life.
He has real life. He's on a little bit more of a leash than I'd say the rest of us are.
If you knew their dynamic, you understand why.
Well, we also have the advantage of our leashes come with us.
That's true, yeah. And honestly, for Nick, his daughter was still very young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So, it's fine. It worked out really well. We were able to finally defeat your big boss. I guess that's a great question for you, Nate, is how do you feel?
How do you feel? Yeah, you were able to feel the Overseer.
The Overseer's finally
He's out of my head, finally.
No more tadpoles.
No. If the next campaign, if we ever get to me being in the chair again, or with this group, or with any group, it would be either a guild campaign, which I have planned out, or
Like Ebron style.
yeah, or a war campaign.
Sure.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right.
Mine's following an anime. I'm interested to see if you guys figure it out.
I probably won't.
Mine's a converted from an already adventure path that exists. So
Nice. I'm generally not good at picking up hints like that. So
I'm gonna have major moments.
okay.
Hopefully, and we say that as a DM, right? I
Yeah,
have this big
it's like,
thing planned.
there is no way you don't see
Yeah.
this coming, and it's like, how did you not see this freight train coming down? You know.
But I have moments specifically planned with specific,
Okay.
say, deities. There are going to be random gods that show up, and
Okay.
these moments are going to take place with them.
Oh, okay.
And these gods in these moments are supposed to take the spot of this major moment that happened in the anime.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, I'm kind of
That's-
advanced DM theory secret. Most of your story is going to be a railroad. It's giving you the
it's
false...
the illusion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the illusion of choice.
But there's also times where they'll go, you guys went totally X Factor the opposite way, and I just had to...
yeah. There's in my campaign that's
There's a
coming
character I
up.
need the party to want to be with them.
Yeah, and that's kind of where what I'm doing now is I have a major character in mind, or a major NPC in mind, specifically geared towards one of the players at the table.
Oh.
And I have a plan of this character having a relationship with that player.
Sure.
But it is all contingent on the player wanting to go down that story path.
Right. Yeah.
And if they say no, then okay, cool, I tried.
Yeah.
But I think if it goes down that path, it could be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just things that you worry about as a DM, right? I'm
Yeah,
sure you
exactly.
probably worry about a ton of them. So, but I'm glad that we were able to. I was at least able to get, the beginnings of everybody together, so that you could get back into it. And
this, I was mentioning on another podcast I was on just a little while ago. This campaign technically started me content creating because that first one failed, and it went totally sour. And I'm actually thinking about making an episode of this podcast just about that particular story and what I've learned from it so far as an origin story. And that was the first Overseer campaign. So technically this campaign villain that's haunted me since the beginning is the whole reason why I got into the whole online thing, the whole reason why I eventually met you guys, the whole reason why this podcast is even here. And I'm even telling the story.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I'm glad that we were able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wild ride. I was glad. Yeah.
And our campaign guide is now huge. It's 1/3 of the way full, and it's only at like 50 pages.
Nice.
We're gonna be filling out a whole bunch of it here coming up.
Yeah.
I think, though, the story isn't over for sure. We still have Brent's campaign coming up in a month or so, or a month and a half, depending upon schedules.
How schedules work out. Yeah.
For all that, remember to subscribe to all our wonderful sponsors and affiliates and check out their links all down below. Use those codes to get yourself the discounts. And don't forget to check out the next chapter of our game discussion recaps as we talk about session zeros with our new campaign and what Brent has in store for us down in Svartheim. Hey, tabletop gamers. Thank you for watching this episode of the Hermit's Homebrew. We come out with new episodes every Wednesday. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we continue to level up and grow.